Hello.
Hello, how's it all going?
We're back.
We are a week later, 2 weeks later even, and we're
Feels
really
like
excited.
feels a lot longer.
It does.
This is episode 2 of our new podcast.
Talking Spirit with Tracy and Tash.
That's us.
Or Tash, if you're English.
I've known her quite a long time and I still can't say it. I say Tash. She asked me to say
Tash.
Tash. And there I have just
Done it. You've
done it.
succeeded.
Tash. But
You
it doesn't
do-
feel natural.
Yeah, you do a really funny head movement with it at the same time. You do like a nod thing.
I am known for my funny head movements.
Too much information.
Well, we've got microphones now. We've got all the gear, haven't we, love?
We have pretty much no idea. We started off with 2 microphones. We're down to 1. Tracy lost her muff. Had to get that in there.
I don't know if it's technically called a muff, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It's
thought they were.
the soft foam that goes over the microphone. So Tash spent a long time shouting, "Where's Tracy's muff?" for her own amusement.
Because I'm 12.
Mentally.
Oh dear.
So let's get that out the way. Tracy's
Yes.
missing muff. And now
I mean, we could keep going on. I've really got to stop.
there's so many muff jokes we could
We
actually
could.
do.
Yeah.
Don't turn off. We are going to talk about spirit. In fact, this episode is about how to see spirit. Can I please do the do 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 do
You
do do
can.
do do?
And about how we see spirit.
Yes,
We'll be discussing that. Because we're a little bit different, aren't we?
very.
Hmm.
How we see spirit and how you see spirit will be different.
Yeah.
And there's different ways that people can open up to it. There's different ways to be trained. But individually, we're all unique.
We are.
So how do you see spirit, Tash? Tell us.
Tell you. I see spirit in my mind's eye. But I don't see them as a full being, which I think we sort of covered last week. But then if there's something really distinct about the spirit that I need to, a bit of information that I need to hand over, a bit of evidence, I will, it will be something like the eyes. If they've got really knowing eyes, or if they're really blue or something like that, they'll show me the eyes. I can sense spirit, so the energy might be a little bit denser next to me. Sometimes it's just knowing they're there.
Feels different.
It really does feel different.
Okay, so let's go back to your first point. You kind of get an image, but it's not of the whole. It's more just something like their eyes or their hair that you hone in on.
Yeah.
So for the person out there listening who's never seen spirit and has never done this before, you would get a feeling that someone had entered the room, or you were choosing to link into that spirit because you were working, and maybe the first thing you saw would be their eye colour.
Yeah, if there's something, sometimes for me it's more like if they've got really, excuse me, if they've got like a frog.
If they're carrying a frog.
I've got a frog in my throat. And I am on HRT for those out there that are wondering. Their eyes, like if they're really knowing, very spiritual, I tend to get shown through the eyes or seeing their eyes. I'm the same with cards. So if it's something to do with the eyes being quite deep and soulful.
I love that. And then you get a sense. So you said before, didn't you, that if you sometimes you see spirit physically, it'll be like a hot day on the road where the air goes funny.
Yeah, or it feels really thick. So yeah, and you can, and that's how I tend to judge their height that way. That's probably how I see their height.
How's
better.
that?
Because I can judge how we have the sort of the heavy energy stops.
Oh,
ends.
right.
So that's generally how I would do their height. But then again, sometimes I just know.
Yeah. So explain how you know.
See, that's really hard to explain, isn't it? It's because you just know. You know when sometimes there's someone standing behind you, but you can't feel them, you can't hear them, you can't smell them, but you just know that they're there.
I get that.
Yeah.
It is hard to explain.
It is really hard to explain. It's like their messages. Sometimes you just know what they're saying and what they need to say.
So perhaps it's like when people say, I just knew there was someone in the room with me. I could feel them in the room with me.
Yeah.
I just knew.
Yeah.
And you can't explain that.
You can't.
But you just have that either a little tingle up the spine or just this kind of plummeting gut feeling or a feeling of, I know there's someone there.
Yeah, you're not alone. Yeah, especially if you're in a room on your own. You know you're not alone.
Yeah. Because when we spoke last time, we talked about how we saw spirit for the first time. And for us, that was really clear, wasn't it? There was no mistaking the physical and the seeing my granddad and, the physical, almost feeling your granddad so close. So that you kind of explains itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're just going about your business and you don't see them pop up like that, how do you know spirit in the room? And I think that is as well, isn't it? And there is that sense of having the temperature change.
Yes. That's a big one, actually, isn't it?
It is.
Can affect the mood of the energy of the room, if that makes any sense. Like it can change the atmosphere around you, the energy around you.
Yeah, different sort of varying degrees of temperature seems to come with spirit activity or with spirit. Mostly when it gets a lot colder, but not to be confused when you see these shows that talk about spirit and the temperature was frozen and it was, there was ice and my breath could be seen in the room. Side note, when we work with angels, we often feel that very cold temperature come in. Admittedly, it feels a lot happier.
Yeah.
But we do definitely get that cold, that change in temperature when we work. We call in the spirits and work with them.
But you feel safe. It's a safe feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not an eerie cold.
Sorry, I'm playing footsies.
Well, you go ahead. We're that close. We try not to make eye contact with each other as well because we are.
You were looking at me, not blinking. It was kind of freaking me out.
She doesn't like me looking at her directly. I'm now just looking at the ceiling, which isn't awkward at all.
So what about you, Trace?
What about me?
What about you?
How do I feel spirit?
How do you feel spirit? No, and see spirit.
Yeah, well, when I first started out, I felt that I could see them in my mind's eye really clearly. But like you said, it was more honing in on maybe the hair, the eyes, the height, and then building the picture up from there rather than a real clear visual from the off. So it would be, that person has a lovely smile. But also with it, I would get the feelings of that person and they would give me a sense of how they were in their personality, if they were upbeat, quiet, or quite reserved. So it would be almost hitting me at once with all of them. So it wasn't just like you'll know this. It wasn't just one thing. It was almost like your body picked up. You were able to feel them as well as see them. And I think that anybody that starts to work with spirit and sees them from the off, at the beginning, it's more a visual assault, whereas it calms down a bit, doesn't it?
It does. It kind of lulls you into a false sense of security at the beginning, doesn't it? Because you do get everything sort of, for me, definitely a lot clearer.
Yeah.
Even the information, and then after a while, Spirit's like, right, I want you to work now. You are honing in different skills when you are working, so it does work in our favour to strengthen us. But at the same time, it can be really frustrating.
Yeah, because you think, hang on a minute, I've seen spirit, felt them, and now I can't see anything. Have they gone? Did I make it up?
Yeah.
And like you say, it's just actually, sometimes I think you see things because you're not expecting it and you haven't got any expectations or doubts. Whereas when you start to explore it, you're like, hang on a minute, this isn't logical. And all the doubts and ifs and buts come in and I think make it harder for us to see and feel spirit. But yes, I think they do step back because at the beginning it was a lot clearer than what it is now.
Yeah. And I think also if you're doing seeing spirit or communicating spirit for reading purposes, there'll always be something unique about that person, whether it might be they wore a flannel shirt all the time. So you just generally see like a flannel shirt in your mind's eye or drawn to a certain colour, or like if they wore an apron, those come up as well.
Yeah, it must be like, look at me, remember this? Whereas I would just come through blonde and fabulous with red lipstick.
My 28-year-old body.
Yeah, come on, it's me.
So I think There's different ways, isn't there? And sometimes, I don't know about you, kind of get a few different things at once. So, with smell or something like that, you'd be like, oh God, I've got a smell of something. Oh, just as I've said that, because once you start talking or start telling somebody what you're seeing, more comes in.
It does.
And then all of a sudden you're seeing you might get a picture, like say for a shirt, and then you might get a mannerism, feel a mannerism, and it's almost piecing together this, really a beautiful puzzle for your sitter, for the person that you're working with.
Side note, sitter is an old-fashioned term to say your client or your partner or the person you're giving a reading for, but I still think we should say it because it's a nod to the good old days of spiritualism.
It is.
The sitter.
I like saying sitter.
Yeah.
So, and then we also start taking on some of their mannerisms sometimes too, don't we?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
So also, it's a good one to remind folk, when you get that smell that you hadn't smelt 5 seconds ago, be it cigarette smoke, perfume, or something from perhaps memories that you shared with them.
Cut grass or flowers.
We know, or we believe, that spirit's saying, oh, we're here, here's a sign, because it's really hard to conjure up a smell, certainly, externally, where you've just been sitting watching telly and all of a sudden you accuse your partner of smoking because there's this thick smoke in the air. So those things cannot be made up, can they?
No.
So if you want to know how to see a spirit, this is an interesting kind of thought. Some people think, as we discussed last time, that it's only for the chosen few. It's absolutely not. In fact, recently I heard on mentioning Uncanny Again podcast, one of the guest speakers said he thinks that spirits only choose certain people to show themselves to. And I'm like, wow, I really don't believe that. I think it's about just opening your mind. And if you have an open mind to start with, you're probably going to have a better success rate of seeing spirit, aren't you? Yeah. If, for example, you don't believe in it, then of course you're not going to. But if you're listening to this podcast, then there's likelihood that you do believe in some of this, if not all of it. And you might be thinking, right, how do I see a spirit then? Come on, ladies, show me. So I don't know, they wouldn't talk like that, but no. That'd be a bit weird.
It would be very weird. I think also when you look back to childhood, how many children see spirits, imaginary friends and things like that. So I do believe, a lot more of us would have seen them as a children or, know that they've seen them as a child. But it's very easy to either feel you can't talk about it, it's the norm, so you don't say anything, or when you do, for an adult, maybe one that's a non-believer, just go, oh, don't be silly, you're making it up. And it almost sort of closes you down.
It does. And actually, that's a really good point. If you think about your imaginary friend, assuming it wasn't a unicorn, it could well have been spirit, because I know my imaginary friend when I was younger was a very annoying child called Anne. I mean, why would I imagine that? You would imagine someone that you'd get on with, not someone who irritated you, who had a similar hairdo.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And actually now looking back, I realised that was spirit.
Yeah.
So if you have had imaginary friends, have a think back about who they were and were they actually spirit just saying, I'll play with you.
Yeah.
Which might be a bit eerie in hindsight.
Would be. I never had imaginary friends.
Did you not?
No. But then 2 of my children have seen spirit. But they called them angels. One of them called them angels. Oh. They would always say, there's an angel here, there's an angel. And it would be my cousin or, who's my guide.
Yeah.
Lee. But, so I've never squashed them going, oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. You're just making that up. I'll just sort of, say, oh, how exciting or, things like that. So talk about it with them.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not make it weird or any weirder than it is.
No.
But I think that's it, isn't it? So to see spirit, what do you need to do? So you have an open mind. Probably set the intention that you don't really want to see them in the middle of the night or jumping out of a cupboard like Kato.
Yeah, no. Best times for me personally is like when I'm doing the dishes, because you kind of in that kind of relaxed state, you zone out, don't you? Especially if you're looking out your kitchen window. I always think that's a really good time. They tend to come, I don't have them come to my house a lot, but if they do need to give me a message, it's always when I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah, mine seems to be when I'm microwaving a jacket potato, isn't it? That's really weird.
Always get your messages while you're having a potato.
Oh, God almighty. I mean, you don't have to try that at home, but it'd be interesting to see if anyone actually did that and got a message. Spirit like, hang on, she's microwaving. It's our turn.
Sold out at Morrison's.
Yeah. But I think also being able to see spirit is very much being relaxed, like you say, washing up, doing something that isn't sitting there going, come on, like you're not straining to see spirit. Be open-minded, be a little bit relaxed, and just like a volume dial, say to them how much you want them to come in or not. So the best place we would say to start is ask for a loved one or a guide to come and stand with you, wouldn't we? So be nice and quiet, whether it's washing up, whether it's just sitting down, have some time on your own, and just in your head ask for a loved one or a guide to come and stand with you. Then you'll probably find nothing happens. But if you learn to tune your body to start to recognize energy around you, you sort of become a bit more aware of the changes in the air, don't you?
And it's important to be relaxed, because if you really, really concentrate and really, really focus, you kind of miss it, or you put well, for me, I put a block up, because spirit, it's very subtle. Sometimes you can feel the pressure in that, but generally it's quite subtle.
Yeah.
So you kind of really need to be very relaxed.
And expectations are killers, aren't they? People expect a real experience, like of a solid shape and a person going, hello, it's your Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
And it's like,
picking
no.
up the cup and passing it to you, going,
your potatoes done.
Your microwave's pink.
So really, you have to manage expectations. It's like learning a new language. You don't go to a French class and suddenly start speaking perfect French. You have to see this as a process. So you start by saying, okay, I want to see spirit. I want to feel my loved ones or my guides. And the reason why we say that is because we don't want you to suddenly go, I'm opening the floodgates for every little floaty spirit that's around, every Tom, Dick and Harry, and then you'll be overwhelmed, and it's not what we'd advise.
No.
So just ask for those that love you.
Yeah. And again, it's sort of relax all the senses, because it might be that before you feel the energy or sense they're there, you may smell. So or you might just get a word in your head, which is like a thought, but it's not yours. So it's being relaxed, but opening up all your senses and going and trusting whatever it is that you feel, that is the connection.
Yeah. And the first time you feel something or hear something, you'll probably go, oh my God, and just stop yourself, because that's kind of what happens. It's like, oh my God, it works.
Yeah.
And of course, then there's that thought process of, did I just make that up? Have I gone mad?
Yeah.
But we would say,
follow me around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a matter of softly, when you choose to start to see them. So part of the training I had was when you sit and you purposely want to connect to spirit. So take a few deep breaths, clear your mind. I know it's not as easy as that. We do all sorts of techniques for that, which we will do in other podcasts or episodes. We talked about how you open up and you ask spirit to come in. And then if you're able to feel or see something, so say there is a sense of someone being in the room with you, which we just spoke about, that knowing, or you just get a really quick visual of a loved one, don't discount anything, but imagine that you can bring it towards you. So imagine you've almost seen the image and start to bring it towards you in your mind's eye. And the same for the feeling, as if you could attract it closer. Does that make sense?
It does. Sort of blending the energies, isn't it? So you can sort of sit in the energy and feel the energy.
Yeah, when we say blending, sometimes people don't know what that is. And that is about us, I think in layman's terms, sort of bringing it in to us, bringing it closer to us is probably the best way, so that we can feel and see more. Yeah. So if you look at an object in your room right now, so I'm going to look at Tash's lovely water bottle. If that was spirit, I'd imagine bringing that water bottle closer to me, as if I could. I don't mean by that sort of power of, what's that one where you can make things move?
Oh, I don't know, but it's a Matilda, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, in your mind's eye. So have a go. Imagine looking at an object in your room and then just imagine bringing it closer to you so that it becomes more detailed, more up close. And don't worry if you can't do that. That's not for everybody. But it's worth just to go. And that was how I was taught to bring spirit in. So as soon as I would connect to spirit, and say I'm doing it now and I'm seeing a guy with dark hair with a slim face, I will bring him in closer, like come in closer, so that I now can see his nose, I can see his eyes. So give that a go. And then if you feel,
what else you can do is bring them in, but like what Tracy was saying, but also I like to get them to put a hand on my shoulder. So in my mind's eye, or in my head, I'll just say, can you put a hand on my shoulder? And you can feel it as pressure. It could be tingling, could go a bit cold, could go a bit warm. You might just know they're there. And that's quite nice as well. It's just reassuring to know that they are there. And I at times I'll challenge sort of the way I work. I don't know if that's the right term, right words to say, but I would say, right, can you put more pressure on? So I would start sort of playing around with the energy.
Make it stronger so I can feel it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want something physical to prove you're not making it up, don't you? So that's a good one to start with, either the hand on the shoulder or in your mind's eye, if you're visual, bring it in closer. But it's all trial and error with everybody because we are so different. So one thing will work with one person and another will not work for another. I think the best way is when you are relaxed and you suddenly just go. I'll tell you a story. I remember this. This is back in the days when Claire and I used to hire halls very ambitiously.
Well, you did hire a horse.
No, there was no horse involved, but
a horse riding medium.
Give it a go. Yeah, we used to hire a hall.
Dear.
She coughed over that.
I did.
And there was about 5 people in it, bless them. We were, like I say, we were really ambitious. We just loved it. We just opened the doors and everyone could come. And there was about 5 people sitting there. And their man was sitting there. And I thought, I know there's a lady behind him. And I was relaxed enough just to give it a go. And I said, I've got this lady here, blah-de-blah. I wasn't that interested in this height, all the usual stuff. And I went, her name's Olive. I literally shouted it at him. And that was when he took notice. It was almost like he'd slipped into a coma, and then all of a sudden, when I said the name, he listened. And the reason why I'm telling you is because the name just appeared to me. It was almost like someone had shouted it in my head. So I thought, in for a penny.
Yeah.
And that's how he knew that was his aunt, because it's such an unusual name.
It is an unusual name. And this is the thing, isn't it? Everyone's sort of got an aunt in spirit that's so heightened.
Yeah.
Things like that. To be able to get that little bit, from a working perspective, if you've got a sitter, to get that unique information like a name or, they had a bit of a limp or, they like to wear certain...
unique stuff.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's brilliant, and that does sort of get everyone's attention then as well, don't they? They sit up straighter.
I think the spirit Olive must have been going, oh, for God's sake, tell him I'm Olive, tell him I'm Olive.
Tell him Popeye and spinach.
Yeah, he'll get it then. But it's also weird because I don't really get names anymore, but what I'm saying this story for is because sometimes you will just feel the information, like you've got Tourette's all of a sudden, you can't keep it in, you have to say it. And as you start exploring your spiritual path and your development, you'll find that will happen. You'll be sitting there and somehow you just know something about the person that you're with, whether it's a friend for a chat or you're out for a drink. You'll suddenly just go, I know this and I have to say something. It's like you turn up the level of the noise of your intuition and connection to spirit. And I know I've told you before how I was called the piss psychic by my brother, because every time we'd go for a drink, I would suddenly just launch with all this information because I was relaxed. And I remember, I'm not proud of this, but we'd been in a club and there was a bouncer there and I just knew his name was Mario. He didn't have a name tag on, I wasn't being obvious. And I said, is your name Mario? And he went, yeah. And I was like, oh, but I was drunk. And it was like, and then I just got some more information about him. And he was like, he didn't know whether he'd been set up or to believe me or it was real. And I wouldn't advocate going out and getting drunk and giving readings. We all live and learn. But what the point is I was relaxed.
Really relaxed.
It took my inhibitions away. But also, if you need to say something, this is the trouble about sometimes when you start opening up to spirit, isn't it? That you start getting messages for everyone.
Yeah.
And then you really can't seem to hold back.
Yeah. And then if it's they really want it said, they won't let you push it away, do they?
That's right.
Keep going on, like you need to let them know.
Yeah.
Like for Mario, you needed to go up to Mario.
Yeah, I can't remember what I said, but it was quite poignant. I think he needed to hear it. And the spirit was like, go on, she's a bit inebriated. Just say it through her. She won't mind.
Yeah.
Just want to have a side note here. This is like me not...
She's trying to save herself now, make herself look innocent.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But we do not say that you need to have a drink to connect to spirit. In fact, we probably advise against it. And also, it's up to you if you feel like you want to pass a message on. I'm just saying that sometimes when you get into all this, you suddenly become a little puppet for him.
You do.
And you have to get your mum voice and go, no, don't irritate me, spirit. I will give a message in the time I would like to.
And that's what we were saying we've done in our course, haven't we, with intensive mediumship course. We sort of form a contract with spirit, sort of going, right, these are the rules.
Yeah.
You don't want to be giving, the random guy in pump 7 at the petrol station a message, from spirit to leave his girlfriend or something like that. You just want to get your petrol and go.
Yeah.
So there's, a time and a place for some of this.
It really is. And I don't like watching those medium shows where they go, can I just stop you? I got a message for you. Because it's always that woman, isn't it? And the poor recipients just looks like a rabbit caught in a headlight.
I only wanted some bread.
Yeah. I just came here to get me eggs. And I feel like that is inflicted on them then, isn't it? So just to recap here, we're talking about it, you understanding it in the comfort of your own home, enjoying what it's like to just maybe open up to spirit, and just like Tash says, have the idea of what you want and what you don't want.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that earlier, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think, but that's how we've kind of learned, haven't we? I remember doing readings at a caravan park.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever forgotten that experience, to be fair.
You are classy.
Yeah. And driving home thinking, I'm not alone in this car. And then walking along my veranda to get to the house. You don't call them a veranda. Did we have this before? Balcony? No.
Porch.
Porch.
You can call it a veranda if you want.
Oh, that's all right. No, just because when I've done it in the meditation, I was like, I don't know what a veranda is. And I can't say decking. I can't say I'm walking along my deck. Not with this accent. So I was walking around, porch, walking along my porch, and sort of thinking, God, I've got 5 spirits here with me. Like they just came home with me. And I thought, no, I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Going to bed with 5.
Well, I mean, you can, but
move over. I'm like
sure.
jumping.
There's a film about that somewhere. But
that's like that. You always have to go. You always have to.
It was called Entity. There was a real film about it. I haven't made it up. I mean, I wouldn't advise watching it, but yeah. But do you know what? So we're talking about here about how you see spirit, and then we've very quickly escalated not only to dirtiness, hell, Kels the Pre, but also now scaring everyone into ever doing it. Because they now think they'll be drunk and have to give messages, or they're going to have like 5 men in the car. Don't do it, kids.
I think the point we're saying is definitely call them the one loved ones. Once you know.
Yeah, note to self, don't do anything we did.
See, we've learned so that we can say, this is not how to do it. Like our parents have done before us. Yet we do not listen.
Yeah, well, that's it. You that's the point, isn't it? And we've said this. We made the mistakes so that everyone in our classes, events and so on can just learn the easier way. And the easier way is just sit in the comfort of your home, set the intention you want loved ones and guides only, and just get a sense of their lovely energy. Do not drink.
Do not do them at caravan parks.
Why were you at a caravan park?
The thing is, I had just started, so I remember doing this first reading, and it was really good. I mean, they cried, and I know that's sad, but at the same time, as a psychic and a medium, it's like ding ding, ring the bell. No, I didn't really feel for them. And then, no, I genuinely did. You're not helping with that laugh. And then the next person came, and they're like 10 minutes reading, so you kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard to link in. Well, not link in, but to sit in their energy. You just got to boom, boom, boom. And this lady said to the one behind it, she's so good. She is so good. And then all of a sudden I went, I was shut down. Do you know what it was
under pressure?
I was under pressure. Oh, yeah. And then it went downhill from there.
God, we have worked and we've earned our stripes and paid our dues, haven't we? I've been in working men clubs. I've been in shopping centres. Pubs. I've even poor lady wouldn't bloody husband wouldn't look after the kids, so she came for a reading and was sitting there breastfeeding, love her heart. Yeah, while her kids ran around. I thought, I mean, I can work, but I don't think she could concentrate.
No.
But now these days, there's a spiritualist or a psychic or intuitive or a therapist on every corner, and you can actually come and have an hour session, can't you, about you? But yeah, we have worked in some, we'd advise against those sort of things. It's nice to have a go at a wellness fair or something like that, because then you can just see what readings are about. Yeah. But you get a better reading, I think, in a setup where you are nurtured.
Yeah, and it's your environment, isn't it? You kind of, as a reader, it's kind of, it's got nice, you've got, the energy, it's got nice energy, like in our room, energy's beautiful energies built up over time.
Yeah.
People come in and they straight away feel very at ease.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And I think that's key, actually, about everything we've said in this episode about feeling at ease.
Yeah.
So to connect to spirit, feel at ease, because you will enjoy the experience. Don't be somewhere which is a pub or anywhere that isn't comfortable.
No.
And do it at your own pace. So if you want to explore more, we have a YouTube channel, Talking Spirit, funny enough. And on there is some how-to videos.
Yeah.
And obviously we have our community on Facebook called Talking Spirit Online Community, originally enough. And all of those things are free. So if you think, yeah, I do want to know what this is all about and how I sense and feel spirit, then we'd really recommend that you look us up.
Yeah.
But also, it is now about, like we said last time in our last episode, if you listen to it, it's a way of life for most of us now. It can't be rushed. And to be able to feel your loved ones around you and to not have to pay someone else to do it, that is all we've ever wanted, isn't it? So if you've lost someone, and it does take a while, I think, to not be so taken down by grief, because it's very difficult, I think, to really, if you're new, feel spirit if you've just lost them. Give them a bit of time, give yourself some time, and then maybe just decide that actually today I would like to see if I can feel them near me. So you might find that if you sit quietly, they come to you. And if they don't lose heart, because it might be you get in the car, put the radio on, and their favourite song will be playing. Or you'll look out the garden and their favourite bird will be there, or the feather just floats down.
Yeah, I had that feather with my dad recently, and I just said to him, I can't, I just got to hand this to you, Dad, I don't know what to do. And this feather just floated in front of me, and there was no trees, there were no birds, and it's like, and I keep it in my purse now. I just knew, when you just know.
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah.
And for me, because it's still going through the, sort of the grieving process, I'm not ready to sit in his energy. I'd love to, but for me, it's not.
It's too raw.
It's too raw. So that's a really good point. And but I do sense him, or I'll sense him in the room, or see him in my mind's eye in the room. That's fine. But for me, I can't have him touching my shoulder or anything yet. But the day will come, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's process, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to do it when it absolutely feels right.
Yeah, I think if emotions are high for any reason, it is really hard to feel spirit. You have to be at ease.
You do, yeah.
And I'm so glad that we can have that. As we said before, to be able to feel them is such a gift.
Oh, it's magical.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the other end of the scale, which we will be doing in future episodes, where we're going to haunted premises and feel all of them.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll come with us. So just wanted to also say thank you for everybody for the comments and support we've had from our first podcast. We've made you laugh, which is nice. Hopefully we also gave you some information, and we'll keep doing these. And if you've enjoyed it, please do leave us a comment. And then just to close, I will be using the chimes.
And to say where you're listening from, because when we had one in Hong Kong, didn't we?
USA.
New Zealand, USA.
Yes, international.
We're going international.
We can call ourselves international psychics now. My dream has finally come true.
I feel like I need a big bandana.
Do you? Is that painful? Right then. So last time I managed to cancel out the noise of the chimes, so no one had a clue what I was doing.
No.
It's just us two going, ooh. Ooh, as an end. Lovely. You didn't know what we were doing. So hopefully you can hear this now. This is Tracy and Tash coming to the end of our podcast. We thank you for listening.
That's her M&S voice.
Here is my M&S voice, brought to you by Tracy. So we wish you all well, and we hope that you get a chance to feel your beloved spirit family around you. And we look forward to talking again soon. That was annoying the way I did that.
It was very
patronising.
It was almost too well spoken for you, and too harsh. And
I need to get back to my roots.
Monotonely deep.
Also, I just want to slap me and you when we speak like that.
It's just not us.
No, it's really not.
Why do we do hand actions like this?
Well, no one can see them, so don't worry.
It's like an ebb and flow action. That doesn't even make sense.
And you're making eye contact again. Just stop it.
Hey, hang on a minute. You are the one with all the eye contact. I do it at the end and you crumble.
So intense.
It's
just so intense.
Last how many minutes?
I can't
Have
do
we said
it.
goodbye or are we still
No,
on?
we're going to say goodbye now.
Goodbye.